back. This is week 7 of our CIS 257 coverage. So today I'd like to start with answering some of the questions about the latest homework. If you have questions about the homework, it's still the same project. It's still that GUI Emulator lab. So one specific question that I'm getting is this. The submit button, and let me demonstrate this. As you recall, in our homework, what we're getting is that there is a iGadget interface. So here's iGadget. There's also iGadget container interface, and these are the two interfaces that we use in our homework, right? So there's some classes that's supposed to implement those interfaces, and there's a class named form, right? Form is the container for pretty much for all of our gadgets, and the specification is asking you to have form implement both gadget container and also implement the interface iGadget. So the reason behind it, so that the form class has to implement both, is that this way we can communicate using standard iGadget interface. We can communicate with the form in such way that, for instance, if you recall, the iGadget interface here supposed to provide us with methods such as set text and also get text, as far as I can remember, right? So this way, if we add a string, if we add a string title to our form, this way, and of course in UML we do it the other way around, right? So we just write something like title, right? Title, which is the name of the attribute, and then add string as the type at the end, and we use colon using UML notation, right? So if we implement set text, right, and get text right here, the actual method implementation, if we provide this, basically we can use the form as the gadget, and this way somewhere in our main, like when we write our main method, in our main method when we write code, basically we can create the form, right? When we say new form, create new form, then we can pass the caption for the title for the form, and store it using set text maybe, and store it as this form title. And therefore, when someone clicks submit button, inside the submit button implementation and the actual click for the submit button, what we can do is that we can say first we can print. So the submit button is supposed to iterate through the collection of gadgets inside the form, locate every single text box, and print its content. So here the submit button could first print the like window and print the title, like that caption that we provided when we constructed the new form in our main method. And so we can begin a report by printing the caption, and then list, name if this was a text ID and it contains Joe, right? And then there's a phone field that I've created, and if it's a required field and I didn't specify, it's supposed to print required or something like this, required. and so forth. So it's just a place, I think, where we could visualize the original window caption could be inside our submit button click. In fact, I think I should basically be more accurate here, because, as you know, what we do is that we call our classes like button submit, right? That's the actual name of the class, and inside that class we have a click. So every button implements the click, and for that click we can write the code so that instead of just printing the names, the text ID of every text box or mandatory text box, we can print that, but prior to that we can print the window caption, just to make the output more, like, appealing or looking better. Does that answer your question, Andrew? So I think most appropriate place to specify the caption would be just once when you create the form, and typically you would want to initialize your class with the initial parameters. So that would be a good place to specify what the title is, and then have the user populate the controls and do everything else that we do with this emulator app. And I cannot wait to actually switch over to the actual GUI framework, covering the GUI environment, and so we can then say, remember, we've used those interfaces before in that simulator app, and now we can use the actual interfaces provided to us by the framework, and this will be already somewhat familiar interaction between specific objects, the way we use inheritance, the way we use interfaces, and we will be using it all the time when we write Swing applications. And Swing, of course, is the library, the set of classes to support portable graphical user interface in Java, in standard Java implementation. So any other questions about this specific homework? Any other concerns? I plan to dedicate yet another Thursday session this coming Thursday to perhaps to work on one-on-one with you if there are any challenges remaining with respect to this specific homework. So we'll have a chance to talk about it again.